Well, hello, everyone. How's everyone doing? We are celebrating January 7th today by having a good conversation with the ultimate fangirl. And Anne is here to join us all the way from Manchester, England. And in this conversation that we're going to have, you're going to learn more about what makes her the ultimate fangirl. What is this Ask the Drummer podcast all about? And amongst some other things. So why don't we get started? And hi, Anne, how are you doing?
Hello. Hello. Is it W or W or something?
W or you, William, either one's fine.
W?
W, sure.
Okay, W. Hello, W.
Nice to see you. Very nice to see you. So, you know, I should give you a little introduction to how I got to learn about you a little bit. On Facebook, all these posts were coming through somehow, some way, and your name would be on there, whether it be for the Wild Swans or Lightning Seeds. And I kept seeing like how involved, how much you love, some of these bands. And then you'd have your kind of your motif of the love, the hearts and all that. And then I messaged you last year and we talked a little bit, and that's where I really got a sense of kind of like, okay, this isn't just someone like, a fly by night kind of fan. This is someone that takes her fandom very seriously. So let's talk about, when did this really start for you? Your love and affection and appreciation for music and artists and stuff like that.
It's right from, I think, like when I was a kid, because my mum's a big music sort of like fan herself. So she used to like play quite a lot of like Neil Sedaka and all those like Elvis Presley and all that. So I've always loved music. But my mom's music, obviously, and then my auntie, my mom's sister, used to buy us all like 45s when we were kids. So we're into that, and then into Filipino music as well. But my own, sort of like what I consider sort of like my own music started when I was like maybe 10 or 11, when like what's it, sugar hill gang. So like that rap thing, I think I was 10 when I heard it. I thought, oh god, that is so cool. And then Gary Newman's Cars, and I didn't know what it's called at the time, but I think that was the first new wave song that I've ever heard and that I really liked. And then like through friends and like radio stations and stuff, then it's just that I've always sort of like liked music. It's always in me. I just
when you were hearing these songs, was this through radio or was this through television?
Radio, yeah, because at the time it's always like I used to listen to AM radio when I was a kid. I didn't even know that there was an FM radio when I was a kid. And it's mainly my mom's cassette tapes, and then the radio stations they play like the Filipino Tagalog songs and things like that, or Pinoy rock as we call it. But for the foreign songs, it'll be my mom's sort of like collection that I used to listen to. And yeah.
So tell us a little bit about your upbringing and where you were born and all that stuff.
I was born in Manila, a place called Santa Ana in Manila. I was there until I was 8. Because I remember when I was young, we also, I think it was my cousin's record collection. I remember that because that the Jackson 5's Christmas album, I do remember that vividly when I was a kid, that that record was playing at the time in our house, but I don't think we owned a copy of it. So I'm pretty sure it was my cousin's copy. But yeah, so I was there until I was 8 years old, and then we moved to a place called Quezon City. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but in Quezon City, that's where I saw like a high school, did my high school, and that's a different kind of sort of like music scene for me, because you learn something from your friends as well.
That's right.
So
So during that high school experience, and that was a very impressionable experience for me as well, because my mind just kind of opened it up to
yeah,
allowing more of these different genres of music to kind of
yeah.
for me to absorb. Was that a pivotal, time
Oh
for you?
yeah, because like I said, at the time, I think when I started high school, I was still listening to AM radio stations, but then uh, my crush my crush was sort of like listening to a different sort of music, and there's a radio station called WXB, and you know what, I'm not even sure whether it's actually called New Wave at the time, but it's like they play mainly British music. I think British or European music. I mean, we know about Blondie, and because Blondie's "Call Me" was big,
Mhm.
and Devo, like that Whip It thing. So I really know about those things. But then there's a radio station called WXB. My crush was listening to that. So like it was actually from him that, because I wanted to sort of like, oh my God, I wanted to listen to what he was listening to. I wanted to know what, I wanted to sort of like it as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is. And then at the time, we had this mobile DJs or mobile discos, because we live in the subdivision. When I was in high school, we lived in this subdivision. There's so like we hardly ever go out, or well, I didn't. But we hardly sort of like we're self-contained. So we've got our own sort of like house parties. But then when you go to a house party, it's either sometimes you'll just put your music yourself, or you'll hire a mobile disco, and then all these DJs will turn up with their sort of like new wave stuff that is just really, it's music that you've never heard of, but they were really good, so there's that. And then the jeepneys in the Philippines as well, that's another place where you can actually hear amazing music. Like I don't know if it's still the same now, but when I was a teenager, the jeepney in the Philippines is one of the best place to sort of like hear bands like Susie and the Banshees, and so like Tears for Fears, and all those like new wave things, new wave songs. So
Was this like a club, or was this kind of a larger venue? What was this?
no, a jeepney is like the public transport. It's a public transport in the Philippines. So if you want to go, from our subdivision to like the mall or something, or like when I went to the university, it's like a 2-hour jeepney ride from my place in Lagro to my university in Manila. And you always want to make sure that you choose the right jeepney, because that long ride, if it's something that doesn't play the right song, then it's going to be really boring. But some of these jeepneys are actually like proper, they have little what do you call them, those disco bulbs and things like that. So yeah, so I did learn, or I did sort of like hear quite a lot of these what we call new wave songs from jeepneys as well, and again WXB,
So
the station.
at that time, your crush there, was there was there a band that really caught your attention that
I
stood
think
out?
like Tears for Fears, I think. Because at the time I thought he looked a bit like Kurt Smith. So so yeah, that's the one thing that I always remember. I was like, oh my God, so Tears for Fears and the Smiths, of course. Like I think I remember hearing Girlfriend in a Coma for the first time. And I was like, oh my God, this is just amazing. Because the song itself is a bit so like, oh my God, I could have murdered her or something.
Right.
But then it makes you feel like, oh, God, this is so good. And then there's Heaven Knows I'm Miserable Now after that. So that's the second Smith song that I've heard. And I just fell in love with the band straight away. And then in the Philippines at the time, there's one magazine called Jingle Magazine. Well, you can get information about these bands, but sometimes you don't have the money to buy these magazines.
Was that like Melody Maker or NME?
Yeah, I'd say it's the NME of the Philippines or something. It's like Jingle Magazine, and that's the only one that I could remember anyways, because when I was at the university, I used to sort of save up a lot just to buy old smash hits magazines, because sometimes you can get them from this shop called the Book Sale, and they'll have a year-old smash hits. So it's not really it's not the most recent one, but it was so good because you'll learn about Duran Duran, and you learn about Spandau Ballet and Thompson Twins and all those.
Now, did you have friends that were absorbing this stuff as well?
Oh yeah.
Were you forming a group there?
Well, most of my high school friends were just really into music anyways, and after school sometimes we'll just go to a friend's house and just listen to music, maybe drink sometimes, but it's not like we're actually talking about their who these musicians are, because you couldn't get information anyways.
Right.
So it's not so you just listen to it, and then oh, have you heard this new? Oh, have you heard this song? Have you heard The Clash? Or should I stay or should I go? Have you listened to that? Oh my God, it's so good. Things like that. But so yeah, that's it.
Were you working at all during that time? Did you have working in a restaurant or anything? Just
no. I tried, because when I was at university, I thought I wanted to be a working student, and I tried applying. I was telling my daughter about this today, because I said that I tried applying for McDonald's to work at McDonald's. But in those days, they only wanted people who are fair skinned, who are fair complexion, and were supposed to be beautiful people. So wow. I didn't. So I was turned
Come on now.
Down. So I didn't get a job at McDonald's, and I thought, well, I wanted to earn a bit of money. So what I did was, my brother lived in this place called Cainta, and they have all these Filipino sweets, delicacy and stuff, and rice cakes and everything. So what I did was there's a factory or a place where you can get it cheap, and then I can just buy them in bulk and then take them to Lago and sell them for profit. So I did that for a bit, but it was just lugging this heavy thing going on public transport and stuff just for a small amount. So I thought, well, no, I'll leave that. So so no, I didn't work at all until after I graduated from university, because there's just there wasn't an opportunity for me to do that, even though I wanted to. But Yeah, I was
So,
turned down.
and after you graduated, so tell us about the next phase of your chapter of your life there.
Well, yeah. Well, I have to tell you this, that I love the Philippines, but I never really felt like um, it's my home. I never really felt like, um, there's got to be more. There's got to be more to this than just being in the Philippines. So, and because my mom has been living abroad for since I was 5, anyways. I just thought, well, I've always wanted to go. So right after I graduated from university, my mom asked if I wanted to join her, so I did. So I went to the UAE in 1989, and uh, it wasn't so like easy, or I didn't really enjoy it
Why?
at first.
Mhm.
It was a total sort of like a culture shock for me, because it was different from, and I was only like 19 at the time. So for me, it's like, this is not what I didn't want to. I didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And also, it was during the Gulf War. It was like 1990, and like, yeah. So
And did you express that concern or worry to your mom?
no, because I wasn't a rebel, or I was never a rebel. It was like, so you just sort of like took it all in, and it just sort of like, well, I don't want to. I wanted to go back to the Philippines and be with my friends, but I don't want to go back because I don't want to be in the Philippines. If you know what I mean, it's like, I, I don't know where I don't know where I want to be, because I don't want to be in the Philippines, but I don't want to be in this Middle Eastern, or like, I don't want to be in the UAE. So I was just really confused at the time, and I just thought, this is driving me insane. I don't know what I wanted to do, and it was hard, and I tried. I got a job immediately, but then I only after half a day they told me to leave. They told me to not come back.
What was the job?
It was, it's a quick processing place where you bring in your film,
Oh,
like a
yeah,
roll
sure.
of film, and then you like to do prints of it.
Yeah.
So I was doing that. I was sort of like processing the film, and but after, so I went in for the day, like from 10 until 2 o'clock. And then the owner said to me, don't come back, here's your money. So he gave me 60 dirhams. And he said, and because there's like a gap in the afternoon, then you come back like 6 in the evening until like 10 at night. So, but he said, no, don't come back. And I was like, I said, why? And apparently because I don't smile. because I don't smile. I don't smile to the customers, and the customers want to be so like, they want to feel like you're welcoming them and stuff. But I think I see it as because I don't flirt, not because I don't smile, but I don't flirt with the customers.
Yeah, because the smiling thing you have down. We're not worried about that.
So yeah, so after that, I just thought, I couldn't do this. I couldn't live here. It's just too difficult. My brother was there. I mean, it's good that he was there with me as well, because he joined my mom a year before I did.
I,
So
I was going to ask you, so during that difficult transition, what was helping you stay afloat? So it sounds like your brother.
yeah, he was there. And my mom, it's good that my mom was sort of like helping me try and go for another job and things like that. But anyway, so um I know this is really crazy, and some people probably don't believe it, but if it wasn't for the Stone Roses, I probably would, I probably would have gone insane, or maybe I would have just gone back to the Philippines and not be here in the UK, in Manchester or in the UK, because my brother, he was sort of like trying to like cheer me up and helping me with stuff. So what he did was he went to this place where you can hire or you can rent some like DVDs and or it wasn't DVD at the time, it was VHS. Those VHS cassette tapes. So in this place in LA, they have like a compilation of Top of the Pops thing performances. So there was this VHS cassette tape that I put in, and I saw the Stone Roses playing Fool's Gold, and I was like, oh my God.
That was it.
That was it. I was like, oh my God. And then the presenter said that they're from Manchester, and I was like, whoa. And then the day after seeing them, I went to the record shop and bought hold on, this. Can you see it? That's the original.
Hold it down, hold it up again.
That's the original Roses cassette tape that I bought in the UAE. It's supposed to be, it's not really it's a Thompson original, which I found out on Discogs that you can't sell these things because they're like unofficial things. But it's the UAE or it's the Middle East, so like versions of it. And this one's got Fool's Gold.
And how many times did you play that?
Because the album, I only found out that the album hasn't actually got Fool's Gold, but this cassette tape has Fool's Gold. So, and I was really, really pleased that I got Manny to sign it for me. So that's one of those things that I wanted to tell you.
and we'll, as we progress through this conversation, we'll talk more about, obviously meeting some of these people and expressing your interest, your very strong, passionate interest. Okay, so you were having a difficult time there. Your brother was helping you out. The Stone Roses came about, kept you afloat. So from that moment, then how did you start kind of figuring out your identity?
Well, I found a job, obviously, so that helped as well. And then it also enabled me to sort of like buy lots of cassettes, buy lots of music.
And what was that job?
It was a company called Xerox. So I learned how to do photocopying like huge things like A2, A1 sizes, like blueprints and stuff. So I was doing that, and I also learned how to use their Xerox computer and everything. So I was what they call me sort of like the copy center manager, because I was just running the place. So I was there for about a year and a half, and then one of our clients was the head of the maths department in the university. He's an American guy, and then he sort of like, we got chatting, and then he sort of like said to me, "You're too good for this job, So, so he said, I'm looking for a secretary. Would you like to sort of like, sort of like come for an interview and stuff?" So I said, "Oh, that would be great." So like, because I mean, for me, as long as I'm earning money, I don't really care. I mean, I had a degree in the university, but I never really used it. But he just sort of like said, he just said that, why don't you just sort of like apply for the secretary position? So I said, well, okay, I'll do. So he said, okay, well, come over to this place, and then we'll do an interview. So I did, and he's so good, because it's like, he said to me, "What do you do? So like, as a hobby, or when you're not working, what do you do?" so so I don't know why, but I said I rap.
Rap gifts or rap music?
Because I mean, I was into the Stone Roses, but I was also into like Moni Love. Do you remember her? So I was into Moni Love and Della Soul and
Oh yeah, sure.
yeah. So I said that I rap, and then they said, "Oh, okay. Well, can you give me a sample?" So I did. And then right then and there, he said to me, "You got the job."
Just like that?
Just like that. And then he and then he said to me, "Do you know Mariah Carey?" And I said, no. And then I thought, oh my God, should I say yes? And then apparently Mariah Carey is his favorite artist at the moment. So he said to me, "You've got to listen to Mariah Carey." And then so I like said, okay, I will listen to Mariah Carey. And then that's it. So I was there for a while, so which is good, because at least it's something to do with my degree, because I had a degree in maths, and he's the head of the maths department. So I was able to sort of like help him out and stuff.
So just on a side note, do you want to recreate that moment and rap for us?
Oh
No.
no. But you so like I always sort of like say thank heavens for Moni Love that I got a really good job doing.
So how long did you work for this?
I was I think I was there for about 3 years, because I was in the UAE for 7 years. So I worked at the Xerox about 1.5, I think 3 years, and then I met my husband, and then we moved to Abu Dhabi then, and then worked another year before we moved here to Manchester. So
Okay, so now we're in Manchester, which is what year roughly?
96. It was July 1996 when we moved to Manchester.
So that almost like the height of Britpop.
But unfortunately, by the time I came here, the Stone Roses were gone. And that was not good.
Not good.
It was not good. But then I saw the Seahorses.
Oh yeah, John Squire.
John Squires and Chris Helm. And so that's another one where I thought, oh, yeah, I love Manchester. I immediately, because I came here for a visit for the first time in 1993, when me and my husband were just sort of like dating and stuff. So I came here for, I just fell in love with the place immediately. I just think Manchester is the best city in the world. And, smash hits wanted you to believe that you just walk in the town center, you'll meet an artist or a musician or something. Yeah. I didn't get that, but but I still think there's something about Manchester that I want to be here,
Yeah, so I told you I've never been there. I've never been to Liverpool. I've been, many different places throughout England, just not those two places. So what is it about Manchester that has, besides the musical history, but what is it that draws you into it?
I think it's just music, really. It's like, you can't really say maybe the buildings or whatever, or it's just the music. It's Manchester music. And then I remember I also liked Take That. I was also like a big fan of Take That. And I was like, when they split up, my best friend in the UAE said to me that I was like the only one who's not a 12-year-old who's crying over Take That split. And I was like, oh well.
So when you had moved to Manchester, so where was your mom at that time?
Oh, she was still in the UAE. She was
okay.
Yeah. I mean, but my mom, I could understand, because she didn't really want me to leave the UAE if not going to get married to Aiden, to my husband. So in 1995, we just decided, so like, let's just get married so we can leave. So my mom would let me go. So yeah, so the year after 1996, we came here. And he's had enough of the UAE anyway. So my husband's had enough. So.
And then what happened to your brother?
Oh, he stayed with my mom as well.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah. It was just me. And then I just thought, this is it. This is where I wanted to be. You know, you get that feeling that all of a sudden when you move to a place and you know now that it's like, that's it. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, people ask, like my friends are sort of like asking me, aren't you going to have a dual citizenship so you can go back to the Philippines? I'm not going back.
I mean, you'll visit though, but you won't permanently go back.
No, I'm gonna stay here because this is home now. This is where I actually can do the things that I should have done when I was young.
So
and, yeah, I'm doing it now.
Okay, so you anchor yourself down in Manchester. You're absorbing all the cultural, the music stuff.
Yeah.
What job did you pick up there?
I was first doing temporary jobs, but mainly schools and universities. And then I got a job at Manchester University.
Doing what?
The secretarial as well, the finance department. So I was there from 97 until 1999.
Did you have to rap for that interview?
No. No, I think when I came here, they had this equal opportunity thing. I don't know, but I just feel like they have like places like the university have to be seen as they're giving the non-native you know, like people sort of like the opportunity to work there. So I got the job pretty straight away. So that was good. So I was there for a while, and then we thought, well, we wanted to start a family and everything. So I quit the job before the new millennium, and then that's it. I was just sort of like doing just part-time jobs since.
Okay, so I have a feeling now we've arrived at this moment where the real fangirl stuff. Am I correct?
No, the fandom didn't start actually until later, because I had to the other dream that I had was becoming a shopkeeper.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So that's what happened. So in 2005 until we started like doing just home delivery things, and then 2008 I actually had a shop in Stockport. So I did that for a while, and it's mainly sort of like the Filipino. So I was more involved into the community, the Filipino community. Became like the chairperson of this Filipino community in Stockport. So I was really into that and organizing events and stuff. But the fangirling bit didn't actually start until after I had a breakdown. It was like, I think it was 2011, and that's crazy because 2011 the Wild Swans actually played in Manchester.
That's right.
They played in Manchester, but on that night, I've told this a few times to Mr. Simpson, but that night, Journey with Arnel Pineda and Styx and Foreigner were doing a triple. They were like a triple bill at the Manchester Arena, and I was there with the lots of Filipinos because I was sort of like organizing all these things. So, and because Arnel Pineda was sort of like the singer of Journey at the time, well, he still is now. I've actually got this group of Filipinos to go to Manchester Arena and watch the concert. And then on my way back, while waiting for the bus, another friend of mine saw like waiting for the bus to go back to Stockport, and he said, "Oh, I've just been to see the Wild Swans." And I was like, "What the hell? What do you mean you've just been to see the Wild Swans?" And it was like, "Yeah, and this venue called the Ruby Lounge, just near here." Just and I was like, "Where's that? How come you've never told me?" Because I was so clueless at the time, right until sort of like 2011, 2012, and 2012 when I came back here. But anyways, yeah, I was just so clueless. I didn't know that they were still going, that they were still playing. I mean, none of these sort of like bands that I loved. I was more into big ones. Like I saw Guns N' Roses. I saw
Oasis? Did you see Oasis?
Pardon?
Oasis? Did you see them at the time?
No, no, they weren't playing. When did they sort of like split up? No, there's no ways, but it's really sort of like the bands playing at the arena that I was sort of like seeing at the time. I didn't know about any of these smaller venues.
Okay, I got it.
I had no idea that there's the Ruby Lounge, there's like Academy, or I know there all I knew at the time was just all these big, the big concert venues. So anyway, so that I was like, from that moment on, I thought I've got to find out about these things, and I remember Paul Simpson. I think it was him who sent me a friend request because he's been to the Philippines. He also sort of like played in the Philippines in 2011. And I remember sort of like getting this friend request, and I was sort of like thinking, oh, hello, is this really you? Because I was like, oh my God, is this, because I know Filipinos want to sort of like create Facebook accounts and use names like Paul Simpson or things, and it's not really them. So, so I was like, is this, it was a, hey, hello. Oh,
so you got an invite.
Yeah. So I thought, oh my God, I've just heard that you were in the Philippines, and I've just heard that you played in Manchester and things. So so like messaging him, and I just couldn't believe it. And I thought, I've got to do more about these things. It's like they're on Facebook.
So would you say that was the seed that was planted?
Yeah, but at the same time, I was also having a bit of like the shop wasn't going well, and I was just into like there was a lot of drink and all that thing. So I would only just say that it's a nervous breakdown or a midlife crisis, something like that. But anyway, so yeah, 2011, I went to the Philippines. I went back, took my daughter with me, and she did year 5 there. And then I thought, I'm gonna get a job there in the Philippines and maybe start something. But I couldn't. There's just no way I could stay there. It's like, no, I can't. I've got to go back. I've got to go back to Manchester. So 2012, that's actually when I just concentrated on sort of like finding out more about the bands I love and see if they play anywhere near me in Manchester, anywhere in Manchester and stuff. So, but also I've got into lots of music groups on Facebook. So that helped as well. Because then, people saw like posting things like, oh, this band is playing here or this band playing there. So, yeah.
So you would go, okay, so obviously you would learn about these bands as much as you could. You'd go to their shows. Yeah. And at these shows, were you kind of on that mission to meet any of the band members
No, no,
either before or after the show?
no, not originally, because I thought they wouldn't entertain
Mhm.
people like me. Because the thing is, being originally from the Philippines, if you're not connected, if you're not like involved with the musicians, or if you're not rich, then there's no way you could meet them.
Mhm.
That's what I thought. So no, at the time I was just sort of like go to a gig, see them. I didn't even know that you can actually go at the front. I thought those are reserved for rich people.
Mhm.
Or people who can pay lots of money. Like, so yeah, so I just used to go to a gig and then come home straight away until
I was going to say, here it comes.
until in 2013 I went to see Goo Goo Dolls,
Oh,
but it wasn't really Goo Goo Dolls that I wanted to see. I actually went there to see Flesh for Lulu.
oh, sure.
Yeah, so I was there for Flesh for Lulu, and I thought, okay, well, it's gonna like finish. So at the end of the gig, I was just sort of like, okay, I'm gonna go home now. I don't think I'm gonna meet anyone and stuff. But on my way out, Nick Marsh, he's gone now, but
Right.
Nick Marsh was just walking, and he smiled at me, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, oh my god. He just sort of said, excuse me. I was like this, excuse me, can I have a photograph? Yeah. And then I was like, you're so awesome, can I have a photograph with you? And he just, yeah, of course. I was like, and then I thought, so you can actually go to them and ask them this thing. So we had a photograph, and then he sort of like, well, he sort of like, I think, started a conversation, but my mind was just, I just thought, am I really chatting to Nick Mars? And I was like, so I just thought, oh my god, this is so weird, but you could do it. But that was at the academy, with Manchester Academies. I'd say it's like a medium-sized venues. Again, at the time, I still didn't know about the Ruby Lounge and all those sort of like small venues and things. So yeah, so from then on, especially when I discovered all these smaller venues, I realized that you can actually sort of like say hello to these musicians if you're willing to sort of like just wait a bit and wait for them to come out. So yeah, that's.
So you probably have a whole treasure chest of stories. So obviously we don't have the time to go through all those stories. But are there any others that you want to share that just kind of blew your mind away, or something totally unexpected happened, or anything you want to?
Well, so many, like with McHead, there's so many things about McHead that is so amazing. Like getting a lift from McHead from Edinburgh to Liverpool. Was just yeah, that's just.
So how did that happen?
Well, so I've been, ever since I found out that he's still playing.
Yeah.
And that was in 2016. Again, it's true. A friend of mine who said that, oh, Mick Head is playing in Manchester. Why don't you go and see? I was like, oh my god, he's still around. He's still playing. He's still around. I was like, so I thought, well, okay, I'll go and see him, expecting that he'll be playing a lot of the Pale Fountain songs, which is like I'm gonna show you this one here, because I was such a big fan of the Pale Fountains, and that was the first time I saw him. Is he signed this one here at the back? But anyways, so I thought he'd be singing all these the Pale Fountain songs and everything, but he didn't sing a single one because I didn't know that he was actually in another band called Shack. And he played mainly sort of like Shaq songs. So it's like, but he was just so amazing. So that was 2016 when I saw him for the first time. And then I didn't see him again until 2017 when he came back to Manchester, and saw him again. And I had another photo with him, and he was just so lovely. He's such a very nice and friendly, and he's just real. He's not like, I know all of them are actually just so like real people. They're all lovely people. But anyway, so um after that, from that moment on in 2017, I've been following him since. I've been going to every single gig in the UK. So in 29 no in 2020, before the pandemic, yeah, 2020, he did the series of gigs all over the UK. So there was one in Edinburgh. So I took the train. No, I took the bus from Manchester to Glasgow, and then Glasgow to Edinburgh. And then so I'm gonna get the bus back from Edinburgh to Glasgow, Glasgow to Manchester. But the bus from Edinburgh is not until like 4:30, like 4:30 in the morning. So after the gig, it was so like, of course, it's like you go back and ask for photographs and things like that. So he was asking me, like, how are you getting back? And I said, oh, I got a bus at 4:30. And he was like shocked. It's like 4:30. What are you going to do from like? It's not.
Oh,
It was like from 11 o'clock until 4. Why you? I'm just gonna sort of like maybe go to McDonald's, and because I've done that before. I mean, I've done that with Candy Opera. It was like I went to Newcastle, and after the gig, I just sort of like waited for my 6 o'clock bus back to Manchester. So I stayed at McDonald's. So I said that I said to McKed that I'm just gonna maybe hang around and go. But then I didn't realize that in Edinburgh they didn't have a 24-hour McDonald's. The McDonald's there actually closes at 2 o'clock. So there's like from 2 until 4:30 that I don't know I'm gonna pay. So and
he offered the ride.
and they just said, "Oh, we've got a space in the van. Just so like come with us." And but only to Liverpool. And then I said, and I was like, oh my god, is this really happening? So I'm like, this is McHead. Oh, give me a lift back. I was like, yeah, of course. But it was just so amazing, and it was so like there's music sort of like playing while we're traveling, and he was singing along to it, and I was like, oh my god, that's like McHead singing. That was just really amazing. I mean, I've actually got like things like this. This I got from that's McHead's guitar string.
Not an earring.
That the sort of like sound man. I didn't even get his name, but it's he sort of like called me, and because he did 2 gigs in Liverpool. So the first night I was there, and then I think just sort of like probably the sound man just noticed me or something. So the second night he called me and he said, oh, this is from Micket's guitar. I replaced this guitar string, and so you can have that. And I was like, oh my god.
And before we get into the Ask the Drummer events shows that we do, I think what I have learned about you through all your fandom experiences, it seems like you're always appreciative of everyone. It doesn't grow old on you. It doesn't grow tired. You're just caught. You're in the moment. Would you say that's kind of correct?
Yeah. I mean, I just love everything, because sometimes they say, don't you get tired of asking for photos? It's like, but it's a different gig. So you got to sort of like ask for another photograph with them, and it's another set list, or if you still have things to get signed. So you treat every gig as if it was the first time you were actually seeing them. So you get really excited for it. So
So
it yeah.
what advice would you give to somebody who wants to go down that path and try to do the extra work to meet some of these artists?
It just hang around. I'd say just so like because they will come out. I mean,
But some people, I'm sure you bumped into them. Some people, they get so nervous, they don't know how to talk to the musicians. They get a little, maybe a little weird for the musicians. Like, so what advice would you give to somebody? Like, how do you just be yourself in that moment?
I, I actually don't, because
When you come with balloons and everything?
no, because the thing is, I know it sounds like maybe on Facebook you think that I do a lot of so like I'm confident seeing them, but I'm not. I actually like when I hang around and I go and see them, I'm like, I mean, I do practice things like with my head. Before I go to a gig, I always like practice things like what I'm going to say to him, just in case I get a chance to speak to him after the gig. But then as soon as he comes out, I just go, oh my God, they can. And then, and then I was like, oh my God, you're so awesome. Can I have a photograph? And then I just said, and then it said, yeah, of course, of course. And then the last time I saw him in Chester, I'm pretty sure he asked me about my plans for Christmas or something. And I just so like smiled and I just, oh, you're so awesome.
And then you probably forget what you were going to say anyways.
Yeah, you just sort of like, I just think like when you say what advice, I mean, it's really, I don't have, I'm not very confident. I don't know what to say to them. But I just sort of like say hello, and normally I'll have my records with me, and then and you know, for things to sign and set lists and things like that. If they ask me sort of like things, I'll just quickly say whatever I do, you know, like but that's it. I mean, I don't actually say anything else. I'm not I'm not very, like I said, I'm not very good with talking to musicians.
Well, so that's a perfect transition into Ask the Drummer, because that's what you're doing. You're talking to them. So why don't you tell the listeners, like, how did that come about? What was the inspiration for starting this kind of new chapter of your life?
Yeah, no, that's really so like it all happened so quick because I mean, Ask the Drummer, um it was Des Morris's birthday. Do you know Balaam and the Angel?
I've heard of them, yes. Yes.
Yeah, because all these podcasts, you know, see like you see them like interviewing only the singers or guitarists and things, and so I thought, how come they never ask? They never ask the drummers to sort of like go on these things? Because I just find drummers really fascinating. I see them here. It's like it's so exciting to watch. And I always make sure that I've got a good view of the drummer when I go to a gig, because it's just I just look at them and I just thought, wow, they're amazing. So anyway, so it was Des Morris's birthday. It was, I've written the date down as well because it was the 27th of June of last year. So like I always do this. I always post birthdays for the musicians and things. So I just said something like, happy birthday, Des Morris. So I wish there was a podcast where they will ask the drummers and things, and not just the singers and guitarists. And then one of my friends actually commented saying, "You've just given yourself a job." So when she did that, another friend of mine sort of like commented and said, "Yeah, you'll do a great job. So like asking the drummers because you love the drummers yourselves. And then I was so like, it just got stuck in my mind. I was like, oh, can I do it? It was like, I don't even like talking to people. I can't talk to these musicians. I mean, what am I going to say to them? So I thought about it, and then it just went like, it was really quick. So it's 27th of June when that was Des Morris's birthday. The 1st of July, I thought, okay, I'm gonna create a page and and call it Ask the Joe. It's like, I mean, I had so many like other. I think it's like Behind the Drums, the other names that I thought of, Behind the Drums or Drumstick Stories, things like that. And I even saw this is the funny one. It's like She Bangs the Drummers. It was like, what? It's like She Bangs the Drummers, like She Bangs the Drummers. And then, so I thought, well, okay, well, ask the drummer, because like, why don't we ask the drummer? So it's after them. So I created this page called Ask the Drummer on the 1st of July. And then I thought, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to send a message to all the drummers that I know, that I've already met and that I already know, and I'm friends on Facebook. So I sent them messages and things like that. Oh, I'm starting this podcast called Ask the Drummer. Would you be interested in guesting on it? And I mean, that's why I always say that drummers are so awesome, because a lot of them said yes, they will. Oh, that's a great idea. I'll go on it. And that moment on, before I even started it, I've already got like 3 months full.
That's wonderful.
That's like, if it's like every week, so I've got, like, and then I thought, well, I'm going to start it on Sunday, the 1st of August. And it was Chris Quinn of the Orchids and Paul Quinn, because Chris said, yeah, I'll do it, but only if you had Paul as well, because Paul is the percussionist. It's like, yeah, of course, that would be great, because starting a podcast, not just with one drummer, but you'll have two, so like two drummers. So they started it. So it's like I've got them. I was just so nervous. So that was Sunday, the 1st of August. And then I've got all these other sort of like drummers already lined up. And I was just sort of like thinking, oh my God, am I really doing this?
Doing it well. And doing it well. I mean, I've seen several of them and I've enjoyed them. As I was mentioning to you earlier before we started, it's just you have this really warm and inviting way of speaking to them and allowing them to share and making them just feel like it's really just a nice conversation that you're having.
Well, I was so like, I think what I always say to them, I don't know much about being a drummer. I'm not very technical about this thing, but what it's about is about you as a person and your drumming career. So I just thought, at first I thought, they're not going to do this because they'd rather talk about, the technical side of drumming. If they're going to do an interview, it's going to be a technical. But when they sort of agreed to it, I just thought, oh my God, it's just so incredible. So
what are some goals that you have in mind for this new endeavor? Just keep it growing and
just keep it. Well, somebody actually asked me if I could, because I've been misusing the term podcast, because it's not really sort of like, I think I should just say webcast, because it's more sort of like on the web and not really. So someone actually asked if I could turn these interviews into podcasts. So I thought, that's something that I should really be doing in the future. So just so like have them maybe like have a site where it will be only audio and not the video, because I've got the YouTube channel where they can watch all the previous episodes, but I think it would be nice to have the audio as well, just that
Sure.
Especially people asking about it. So
no, they've been great. And I know some of the drummers coming up later this year are very excited to do that. And so I wish you obviously all the best for this. And I would like to bookend and close the curtains on our conversation with a little fun game. And I want to give you a last word. Anything else you want to share about Ask the Drummer, your life, any albums that you want to, any other artifacts?
Yeah, because I brought some. Right, wait, this one first. That's a water bottle signed by John Head. Mick Head's brother. Was also in the Bell Fountain. Well, this was really special. This is really special to me because I went to see him in London, and I was at the front, and it was so like I've seen him a few times already before that London gig, and after the gig, he sort of like said to me, you must be really thirsty. So he gave me his water bottle, and I was like, oh my god. Oh my god.
And that's the water, that's the remain. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I left some. I was thirsty, so I had, I drank some of it. But then I said to him, can you sign it for me? Can you? So it was just sort of like smiling and signed it, and then I left some water in it just like to remind you that that's from him. And I've got my most favorite Aztec camera.
Oh yes.
Album, knife. Now this is also very, very important to me because when I saw Roddy Frame in Birmingham, after the gig, there's actually a lot of people waiting for him to come out, but he didn't. And then, like when you said, what advice is, I think you just have to be patient and wait for if they want to, wait for the artist or the bands to come out. But anyways, one by one, they all just disappeared. They all just sort of like left. And I was the only one there. And it was already after midnight. And I thought, he's not going to come out. And also, I'm sure he's not going to come out the front entrance.
Right.
So, I didn't leave the venue because my bus back to Manchester is not until 2:00 anyways, or 2:30 in the morning. So I thought I'm gonna ring the doorbell and ask. There's nothing wrong, I mean, if no one answers, fine, I'll leave. Right. I'll go to McDonald's and stay. but just in case. So I rang the doorbell, and this was the town hall. This was Birmingham Town Hall where I saw him. So I rang the doorbell. Someone answered, and I said, excuse me, is Roddy Frame still there? And because I've got nowhere to go. And I just said, can I just sort of like say hello to him and have a photograph maybe? And then the man who answered was like, yeah, sure. So he opened the gate for me.
Just like that.
And I was like, oh my God. So I went in, and then he said, something, I think he's still having a shower. It's sort of like, so I said, I don't mind, I'll wait. And then, so I waited around the back of the car park, because the man said to me that, oh, he's going to be going around the back to get into the car and stuff. So I'll just wait around. So I did. It was only like maybe 20-25 minutes that I waited at the car park. And then out he came. I saw him. I was like, again, I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh my God, Roddy Frame. And then I was all like, as usual, all I can say is that, oh my God, you're so awesome. And it was really lovely and very apologetic. It was like, oh, I'm so sorry I kept you waiting. And I was like, no, you didn't. And I said, no, because I've got nowhere else to go anyways. My bus is not until 2:30. It's like, where are you going? I said, I'm going back to Manchester. But it's not until I'm waiting for my bus. It's not until 2:30. So I thought I'll just hang around a bit. And he was like, I'm really sorry. I should come out. And they said, no, that's fine. And then he was sort of like, look, he looked for something in his pocket. And then he gave me this, the AAA hat
Oh,
and a set list. And he said, I'm so sorry, I haven't got anything else to give you. So I'm like, I don't
sorry, I
need,
didn't give you my house.
I don't need, because it was just really so like sorry that he kept me waiting. And then we started talking, and I told him about Knife, and I said that Knife really played like a big part when I was a teenager, and I really loved it. And then he said that he's really happy that someone told him, or that someone said to him that he liked that, that I liked Knife, because apparently and then the critics didn't like it. Apparently it wasn't indie enough, and some fans were also not happy about things like that. So he was really pleased. He was genuinely pleased that I told him that Knife was my favorite. So like as the camera album, and then we were still sort of like talking and things, but then I think his manager or whatever said, just called him and said, "We gotta go." And he was like, "Sorry, we have to go now." I said, "No, that's fine." I mean, I was like, "I've got my photograph." I've got my things. So I just thought, "No, thank you so much." And then I left. And then the man who sort of like let me in, he was just really happy that I managed to get a photograph and things. So yeah, so things like that, just be patient and be willing to wait. But I think most fans, I don't know, they probably think that it's not the done thing, that you don't really want to be seen as waiting for,
right,
for people. Like it happened when I went to see Lightning Seeds at the Philharmonic as well. Um, there were quite a few of us in the beginning waiting for Ian Brody to come out, and then one by one they all just sort of like left until it was just me. And then when I was there, I was just sort of like waiting. Paul Simpson came out. And this was so like a few days after he's been to Manila, because I knew he was gonna come out, because that's when I saw them play the Flaming Sword together. It was the first time ever that they actually played it live. And I was there and I saw it. I saw Paul Simpson and Ian Brody at Liverpool Philharmonic, so like playing Cares, the Flaming Sword live. So yeah, and so I waited around, and I couldn't believe it, because Paul Simpson has just been to the Philippines, and he was like a king, it was really like royalty when he was there.
is. Yeah.
But then of course, when after that, when he was sort of like he was actually rushing, because he said he needed to catch his train. It was like, from having like a chauffeur, or having a driver to take you wherever you like in the Philippines, to just catching the train back to Liverpool, like when you're back in Liverpool. So yeah, and then when Ian Brody came out, the first thing he actually said to me is, "Did you see Paul?" Because I think he knew that that I'm a big fan of Paul Simpson. So that's the first thing that he asked me. He said to me, "It's like, did you see Paul?" And I said, "Yeah, I've seen him. I've said hello to him and stuff." But then when he came out, behind him is Terry Hall.
Oh my goodness.
I was like,
wow.
and I was like, oh my God. And then I went to Terry Hall, and again, of course, you know, I was just getting so excited. I was so like, oh my God. And then Terry Hall was like, I like that. I was like,
It's funny, you remember all the minutia, all the fine details to these experiences.
yeah, because it's almost like
It's probably surreal for you.
it's like you know, it's just really exciting, and I've always wanted to do this thing. So every single time that I've seen like a musician or a band and things, I can sort of like visualize that. I vividly remember what happened and all the conversation and everything. And it was like, because that with Terry Hall, I think, because people were saying that he doesn't smile, sort of like photographs, but he was sort of like kind of smiling at the time because, because I think it was sort of like really caught him by surprise when I said, "Oh my God."
Well, this has been a blast. Hopefully we can do it again.
Yeah, well, thank you.
When I get over to Manchester, we can have a good chat.
I'm still sort of like nervous about it.
Well, you did fine. It was great. And it was really nice learning more about, just who you are as a person and all the love and enthusiasm you have for.
I've actually got one more sort of like, because I posted about this on my wall before. It's my box of set lists. I've got all these set lists with me here.
Oh my
There you
goodness.
go. Like all these. Got like a full box of them here. So because I think these are really important for me. I know some people, like, I don't know how true it is that maybe the stage people or the sound man probably think that it's just a piece of paper, but for me it's not. For me, this are like treasures.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah,
it encapsulates all the work that you do, all time, money, effort, all that stuff, and it creates these narratives that
it's all these memories and.
Yep.
And also, I also bought this just in case. When I was living in the UAE again, I've got these Soup Dragons, Love God.
Wow.
One of these sort of like albums that I used to sort of like listen to like every apart from the Stone Roses and stuff. It's this Soup Dragons that I enjoyed more than their Soft as Your Face Soup Dragons, because the dancey ones I think are sort of like
yeah, they're like couple albums, Hot Wired, and this is our art.
This is our art, yeah, because they're so like the early indie stuff. They're okay. I think the Filipinos still love like Soft as Your Face, but for me it's Love God and
oh yeah, no, that's a great song.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to cue that one up.
Yeah, I just thought so like I'll so like show you that as well, because managed to see Jim Culloch recently, and he's really lovely, and I'm gonna have Paul Quinn as well.
Wow.
The drummer. So like yeah, someday.
So people can tune into this Ask the Drummer on your Facebook?
Yeah. So this Sunday it's gonna be Adam Halford of the Train Set. And
okay.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to like chatting to him. He's brilliant, Adam. Really, really good. So.
Well, great. This has been a really wonderful experience for me getting to know you. And like I said, if you ever want to chit chat again, let's set it up. And I'll be obviously checking you out on Ask the Drummer.
Yeah, thank you for asking me. I still don't know. I mean, it's like, I hope, I hope it was fun for you.
No, I
enjoyed it. So
yeah, it's about connecting. That's why I do these events. It's kind of like you and your events, getting to understand the person behind the drumsticks. It's like,
Yeah.
let's just peel away some of the layers and see the humanity of the person. So, all right, my friend.
I always say I'm just a fan. I'm not. I'm just.
Well, and then maybe next conversation that we have, you're going to do a rap for us.
Is that an interview for a job interview then?
A job interview. I'll put that down in my notes. Well, you have a nice rest of your evening, and we'll stay in touch.
Thank you so much, Dubya.
Yep.
Oh, W. I keep saying Dubya. It's like,
you can say Dubya, you can say W, you can say William, whatever.
Thank you so much for asking.
You're welcome. All right, take care.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Bye, Karen.
Bye, Karen.
See you soon.
Thanks for coming, Karen and Tammy and Stephen.